Raptors Den, where we talk about Raptors, what's going on, trades, movement, and basically how we're building our team for the 2021-2022 season. I'm Adam. As always, I'm joined with Junior. Junior, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, Junior. So the Raptors, lots of movement. 6 p.m. today. The trade was all trades are allowed. Free agency has opened wide up, and there's been a lot of movement already in the NBA. We're going to focus on the Raptors for this because we're going to put out a separate video talking about the NBA and some of the other trades that have already happened. So please subscribe to our channel, turn those notifications on so that you can make sure that you catch those videos when we go live, which is always. Okay, Junior, the Raptors.
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy afternoon.
It's been 3 hours.
Yeah, insane to think that, right? 3 hours and there's already so much newness, like new car smell on this team.
Yep.
So it was reported earlier today that Gary Trent was going to be accepting a 3-year, $50 million deal, which was working out to like a 16 mil AAV. Then it got reported that it's been finalized, so he signed a 3-year, $54 million deal. What do you think about that?
I love Gary Trent. I liked what he did when he got traded for Norm Powell in Toronto. I'm excited about Gary Trent staying. Obviously, he's embraced the Toronto Raptors like nobody else I've ever seen embrace the city of Toronto. It's absolutely incredible how much support he already has for our city. Rocking that infamous Blue Jays shirt, I think like this jersey like 2 or 3 days after being traded in Tampa, which is awesome. So real quick here. So his 2021 stats, he had 15 points, 2 and a bit rebounds, and then 1.5 assists in 58 games. On minutes played, about 31 minutes. So, he was, and you had mentioned this when we first talked about bringing Gary Trent with this Norm Powell when we broke down the trade, is that he's kind of like Norm Powell. He's got a similar style, similar play, and he's putting up similar points. So I like this deal. I think he was going to command around 18 to 20. So, at 17 million a season, I think we got a good deal on him overall. What about you?
I like this. When we originally talked about Norm, it was about the money he wanted to get, right? Like that's how we moved on from Norm. It was about the money he was going to be getting in free agency.
The hometown price, right? He wants to get paid like a hometown guy.
Yeah, and it was reported that he'd be in that $20 to $22 million range. So, I mean, we're getting close to there. With Gary, but 3 years control now. He's still young. He's 22.
Yep.
As you can see, he's got game. There were nights where he was popping up, and then nights that he kind of went down a little bit, but
kind of Norman-esque.
Yeah. Maybe some time in the way we develop players will help him kind of fix and adjust some of those issues that he's got. I mean, he's not a perfect basketball player, but for what we traded him for, I think it was a great trade for both sides. Norm played really well for Portland for the remainder of the season as well as in the playoffs. So, I think a full season of Gary Trent Jr. in Toronto will kind of show him what we actually are about, not from a distance, but from up close. The one thing I did like about him is he dropped the T in Toronto instead of saying Toronto.
He knows.
Everybody else does. So I was like, all right, cool. He maybe he is about this life that is in the city of Toronto. So I kind of dug that.
Yeah, big fan.
And then you know what? Let's save that one for last. So there's been some reports that some trade details and framework have been discussed between Portland and Toronto about us sending over Pascal Siakam and in return getting a CJ McCollum and potentially a first-round pick.
I love a pick.
You got to love picks because we draft really well. But do you think it's time to pull the plug on Pascal or give him kind of a pass because it's been 2 years in a bubble?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, we gave him a monster contract, and it's well documented how I feel about that. We paid him incredibly too much money, and I don't think there was a need to negotiate because we had rights on him anyways and could have matched any offer. So we could have got him definitely for less after seeing him play in the bubble. We probably could have picked him up for like 24 to 28 million. So we would have saved at least some money.
yeah.
Just really quickly, just comparing stat lines here: 23 points, 4 rebounds, and just shy of 5 assists for CJ. When you look over at Pascal, you're looking at 21 and a half points, 7 and a bit rebounds, and 4.5 assists. So assists are about a wash, points are about a wash, but rebounding is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And Pascal isn't a terrible defender, so I like Pascal, and I don't think it's time to move on for him yet. For somebody like CJ, not sure that we need.
Well, he is an off guard, right?
I like having a good shooting guard who knows knows how to play basketball and shoot well, but I don't think Siakam's ready to go just yet, and I'm not willing to give him up for what we could have gotten for him in 19.
Yeah, I will say this though. I'll say this one thing about CJ McCollum. His 23 points compared to Pascal's, I don't think that's a wash. Pascal was the primary scorer on this team. CJ is not a primary scorer and still averaged 23.
Not. That's true.
When I look at a combo of a CJ and a Fred, two guys that can shoot from distance, can get to the cup, that's a dangerous backcourt because literally any of those two can be handling the ball. Now, we all know in Portland, the ball is in Dame's hand.
Constantly.
When it isn't Dame time and when it is Dame time, the ball is in Dame's hands. So, for a guy who's not selfish, who's not looking to be the man, to average 23, I think is exceptional. It's just the contracts have to kind of match up, right? So that's the one thing I would say about CJ. I mean, if we can get CJ in a, if Portland's garbage after they move Dame and Powell is their leading scorer, if they end up in a lottery pick, not protected, then what, that deal looks like $1 million deal.
I love the idea of having CJ in the backcourt with Fred. However, and we talked about this offline, but my thing is that you're going to miss that presence in the front court, and we don't have really much of a front court right now. Yes, you're going to have OG up there, Scotty maybe, but he's likely not going to start the game, and he might even go down to the G League for a little bit and play with the Raptors 905.
Well, that's a guarantee.
I'm sure that's going to happen, right? I just that's what I see happening with him. I don't think he's going to be up here just yet. So then you're going to have a kind of a gap in the front court, and we still need a center. So that's a big concern with me with Jarrett Allen off the table now as well.
Yeah, we can't really rely on Baines.
No. Baines has got to go for us to be competitive. But yeah, we got to see what happens with that. I'm still not ready to give up on Pascal just yet.
Yeah.
Not unless we're getting a better deal.
Yeah. And then I think the one that's going to pull at the heartstrings of every Raptors fan is the Heat, via sign and trade, have acquired Kylelowry. He then immediately signed a 3-year, $30 million deal. We said he wasn't going to get the 30. He got the 30. Now,
good for Kyle. Kudos to Kyle.
Yes.
You know what? When you see guys that are aging, a guy like Chris Paul, who's the money that he's going to command, turning down a $44 million player option, which is outrageous. These guys are still ballers in this league.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm interested in is what we're getting in return for Kyle in the sign and trade.
Yep.
So the first piece of this, the return is Goran Dragic, and he's coming off a pretty decent year. He doesn't want to play here, so there's already talk that he wants to be rerouted to Dallas. Dallas is interested. They've got a couple of guys there that I'd be interested in, very much so. And the other piece was Precious Achiuwa, so 6'8", big body. So in terms of having that placeholder, that stopgap until Scotty's ready, or just someone to lean on in case Pascal is not there defensively and has to be put on his ass, Precious could step up and log some pretty decent minutes. Or if you want to play small, getting him to roll into center with OG and Pascal, I think he's a real movable piece. and gives us a big body. And we were actually interested in Precious, and Miami wouldn't toss him in the deal last year at the deadline. So we kind of end up with a package that we were sort of interested in. I don't think Dragic was in it. We wanted, who was it, Duncan Robinson at the time?
Yeah, I believe so, which is probably going to be their starting shooting guard this year after Hero fell off quite a bit because he was untouchable, but that probably wouldn't have been the case.
No. But this is, the one thing I will say about Kyle. So when Kawhi took off, Kawhi didn't have any heart vested in Toronto. That's why there was no sign and trade.
Yep.
With Kyle, he knew that he has a legacy in this city, and that legacy is important to him to maintain and to build and grow. And what he did by agreeing to a sign and trade was he made certain that by him leaving, we weren't left empty-handed.
Yep.
So you have to respect guys like this, regardless 100%. If they left, but he left us with something in return, which shows you the class that this guy's got.
Yep.
A guy who I can see coming back here when his playing career is over and done with.
Doors always open.
Part of the front office. And I'm sure Masai would already have an office nameplate and a pad of paper ready to go for him. But it just goes to show you that, even in departure, Kyle shows that he is a true Raptor at heart.
Kyle is the greatest Raptor of all time. It's not close. He's done so much for this city. We appreciate him. We're going to miss Kyle, but you know what? I'm happy to see him go somewhere different and try something new and a new challenge. And, it's been a long road for him here in Toronto, and, he brought us a championship, and it's been great having him. But, I'm excited, and Miami's a team that I like to watch. So I'm going to love watching Kyle on there now, working his magic with Jimmy Buckets and Bam. So
as long as it's not here.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna wipe the floor with us for sure. In Toronto, one of his games, he's gonna light us up real nice, no doubt about that.
Oh, for sure, that's gonna happen.
And yeah, on just real quick on Precious, I really like this kid. I think there's a lot he's gonna do very well in our development over here, since we have such a great development staff. Extremely young. I mean, that was only his first year. Didn't play a whole lot of minutes at about 12 minutes, but 5 points and 3.5 rebounds. That's not bad in 12 minutes. So, watch him develop and grow. And, I'm excited to see what he can do. And we need bigs moving forward. So, I think it's a great opportunity.
Nigerian. So there's that
love
connection.
There's love the connections. Yep.
And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why Masai wanted him here. I think I like his profile a lot. I think he's got, he's a big body. He can move quick. He's got good feet, good length. He can be a shot blocker.
Yep.
So, meaning even in the 12 minutes, he's averaging half a block. So that means he's getting significant blocks to average half and, limited playing time. So, I definitely like the pickup in that sign and trade. But yeah, so if I were to give you the keys to Masai's office and his Rolodex and his burner phone,
he's not on a BlackBerry anymore, FYI. So he's officially upgraded. It looks like he's rocking a Samsung right now.
Yeah. What would you do immediately to impact this team?
We need a center. We need a legitimate center. You got to get on the horn. You got to find somebody in free agency or trade. Jared Allen is gone, I believe, $100 million or something like that.
Yep.
Who can we make a move for? Would you want to, are we interested in maybe moving Pascal and picking up a center or picking up a power forward who's got a lot of opportunity? That's a tough one. Let's pull up the free agent list and see. Do you have any names?
Let's go here. So, Tice is signed in Houston. Allen obviously in Cleveland. So in terms of those available,
Rashawn
Holmes, who is in Sacramento. I like him a lot.
I like him too.
He fits really well. There's Enes Kanter, Ed Davis, Robin Lopez, Bismack Biyombo, Hassan Whiteside, George Udang.
I don't think Whiteside would fit the culture here.
Andre Drummond.
I like Rashawn Holmes, man. Look at the stats here. So 14.5, 8 rebounds, and almost 2 assists, 63% from field goal percentage. I mean, he has a 3-point percentage, so first thing I do when I get him here is tell him to stop shooting threes.
Yep.
And his career earnings are $15 million, so I'm not sure what he's expecting to get paid.
Well, he's coming off a 2-year deal that was like 9.7, so he's a $4.5 million guy. You give him 6.5, 7. I think that's money well spent, and he fits a definite need that we've got. What about Frank Kaminsky?
Let's see here.
So obviously, I don't think the numbers are as good, but he is known to.
So 6 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 47 from field goal. He can stretch the floor at 36% 3-point shooting. I don't know how many shot attempts that's on. Yeah, maybe. And that's an opportunity. He's likely not going to get an offer from Phoenix probably because they're going to probably move on and try to retool a bit to make another run for the finals.
And then there is Andre Drummond. I mean, is there enough money in LA for them to keep him? I mean, he's coming off.
I have a feeling he's going to stay there.
So he signed a vet min at $800,000. He is unrestricted, no bird rights or anything like that. So, but
I liked Andre Drummond last year as well. Towards that trade deadline, I would have liked to have tried to squeeze him into the Raptors at that point in time. It didn't work out that way. Yeah. I like Drummond. I don't want to pay him too much, so I'm not sure what he's looking for. Obviously, he's on the cheap to the Lakers, which obviously is to chase the ring. So
that was after a buyout, though. So considerable why he was only making that kind of money. But if you want to talk about what he's averaging, prior to that, his average salary has been anywhere from. So sorry, his entry level contract was 4 years at 10. Then he signed 5 years at 127, and then 1 year at 16. So he's going to be a $16 to $20 million player, probably.
I mean, I love the stat line. I know it's only 15 points, but 12 rebounds. We know how we feel about rebounds around here, and what the Raptors. Yeah, the Raptors absolutely need strong rebounding to be competitive in the East. And get a good position as Miami just got significantly better, and you still have Brooklyn, and of course the Bucks who won the championship. So, rebounding.
Again, you got to look at timeline, right? We're not going to be. We might be competing for playoff spot next year. Championships, no. I also wanted to leave a shout out to No Chill Gilbert Arenas, and how he says that no one talks about our championship. Gil, we don't care.
we were there.
We don't care that no one down there talks about our championship. Doesn't make it any less of a championship. Coming from a guy who's never won one or ever been a leader on a team, coming from a guy who's had his own teammates pull guns on him more times than he's won championships, you got to shut up. You got to have some chill, Gil.
Yeah. Never a fan of Gilbert Arenas, and we don't expect you guys to be talking to us, necessarily in the States or anywhere across the world. We're happy that we won, and that's just how it is, right? So I don't like that. It's kind of a senseless comment. I never liked those.
No.
Yeah, I want to get bigger. You know how I felt about trying to trade up to try to get Mobley, because he could have likely started with this team once he got a little bit comfortable with the system.
But does that make things interesting in Cleveland with Mobley and Jarrett Allen?
Yeah, it makes them a problem. I think. I know everybody's playing small ball, and that's still the future likely of this game. But
and then you've got a Coro. And
I like guys who play big. I like big. Yeah. I like playing I like positional basketball. I like having a dedicated center and power forward to play on the post and create problems. I know it's a 3-and-D league, but that's not my style of basketball. I wouldn't play that way if I was playing in the NBA today, and I'd make teams pay on the glass by creating a team that has a lot of physical presence in the key and around the basketball. I still think that's a real problem because if their shot isn't hitting, you can just continue to take them inside and play defensive basketball, and that's how you win basketball games.
This is very true. Now, Okay, so I would agree with you with getting a legitimate center, and I do love Rashawn Holmes quite a bit. I think he's a perfect fit for us.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's good price for us too.
Very good
We got to
price.
be cognizant considering how much we have on the payroll right now, especially if we don't move Siakam for multiple players.
Yeah. So a guy that I also like now, he's more of a power forward. He isn't. Well, he is a big body. How tall is he again? I think he's around. He's a 7-footer. Lauri Markkanen out of Chicago.
Oh yeah, we talked about him. Yeah, he's nice, and he's young.
Yeah, what did he have last year? So he's 24 years old. He averaged. Oh, he was good for fantasy people. He averaged about 21 points.
Incredible.
So about 25 minutes a game. Shot about 40 from 3, 48 from the floor, and averaged about 13 and a half with a quarter of a block, under assist, 6 rebounds. And his last contract coming off was a 4-year 20. So he's obviously going to do a significant upgrade, probably I'd say around 9, maybe 9 to 12 mil a year. But I also thought that that's what Powell was worth. So let's just call it 18 million a year for Lauri Markkanen. I think he would be another good fit. And then you also have to look at, other big body forwards, right? Traditional power forwards. So like a Kem Birch, do you re-sign him?
Didn't play him enough.
They definitely didn't.
We're going to sign him. We're going to have somebody playing that position. We need to have someone that's going to be playing the basketball and scoring the basketball often. I like Markkanen. Obviously, we're going to touch on it in depth on our kind of overall NBA trade information, or free agency rather. But Lonzo signed with Chicago, so is that something where he's might want to stay there, and they might want to keep him there if he's producing 13 points and 5 rebounds last year, and he is still in a lower salary range where they're not going to have to pay him a ton of money.
Well, I think that they're also, obviously we're getting off point here because we keep talking about the other teams. A
little bit.
Yeah. I like Kem, and I think he can be a pretty useful piece on this team. Okay, so let's parting shots. You give me one guy right now. If you could sign him, you'd sign him, and I'll give you one guy that I could sign right now if I could sign him.
So since we're sticking on the center talk and talking about some of those names, I'm going to go with Rashawn Holmes. I think that's someone that we could actually get on this team. We could get a good price, and I think the fit would be good. And I like the stats that I'm seeing from him. If we could have anybody we wanted, then I'd still stay in that position for now and look at getting Drummond on the team.
Yeah,
so the bona fide starter is going to give us 15 rebounds every night.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was going to bring up. Is I was going to say right off the hop, it's going to be Drummond. I don't think there's enough money in LA, even if he is going to sign a veterans minimum. As we get into what they've already done today, they already signed a crap ton of 1-year, 2-year deals with guys. Now, granted, they have lost a couple pieces, but the money that is in there right now is astronomical.
Yeah, and they're not done, likely.
They're not done yet. So, when you look at that, I don't know if there's room for him in the dollars. Even, I don't even think they could give him a vet's minimum. So that's my concern there. I think if I'm since I've got the keys to the GM's chair, right, I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to offer him a 3-year deal, maybe give him 20, give him 3 years, 60, and get him in here. Tell him that you're that role player, that role piece. You're 27. You've got 6-7 good years left in you. So let's win some chips. I think the Raptors targeting 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Absolutely. This is a guy that could either help develop incoming centers that we draft or we're developing from the G League, however it be. I think he's got the intelligence to really mesh well with his team. So that's who I would go after, is Andre Drummond.
What I like about having Andre Drummond on the team is in a year, 2 years, 3 years, if we sign him for that much, he's still going to be a good player and a well-produced player that we can move him if we need to.
Yeah.
So now he becomes a trade piece for a team that might be making a run if we end up bagging and rebuilding or doing something different with some of our players right down the line. It's hard to say, but I like the option that you have with having a name like Andre Drummond on the team. So,
okay, so we've got one last piece, and that is who is Scotty Barnes?
Scotty B, we love you, man. Already, we love you. Nobody really talked about it. There was a lot of backlash on Scotty Barnes getting drafted at number 4 position over Jalen Suggs, which seemed to be the Raptors' target, at least in the public. Although obviously they liked Scotty as well, because there was some talk about that. But it seemed like Jalen Suggs was going to go number 4 on everybody's sheet. It didn't happen. We went with Scotty. Junior called it. Junior, tell us a bit about Scotty. Break it down for us.
So what a lot of people might not know about Scotty Barnes is he is a 5-star recruit. So if you're not used to what the star recruiting system is, a 5-star recruit is a bona fide athlete, a guy that is primed for the pros. He had offers from Cal, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, Gonzaga. He pretty much every school that has a stellar program gave him an offer. He chose Florida State. And he came off the bench for 17 of 24 games. Never complained about it. Never cried about it. What did he do? He put in his 10 points, his 4 assists, 4 rebounds, won ACC Freshman of the Year, ACC Defense. I think it was Defensive Player of the Year as well. So what you're going to get in this kid is someone who wants to be the best, someone who's going to put in the work, someone who embodies what this city is about. If you didn't see any of the videos, the minute that this kid landed in Toronto, he went right downtown and walked around, and people mobbed him because they knew exactly who he was. When I saw him get off that draft table and start dancing, I knew
he's happy to be here. He is happy to be in Toronto.
Right then and there that I was not wrong, that this kid is going to be a star.
And sometimes personality, that's something that, that's definitely something that the Raptors look for. We want to know how you fit with the team. We want to know how you feel about the team. We want you to be a part of the team. We want you to want to be a part of the team and be here. And, Scotty, he got up, he danced. What were the first few words he came out of his mouth? I'm ready to go to work. When he's being filmed on national television, you can say anything you think. His mom, he can think whoever he wants, this, that, the other. I'm ready to work. I just want to get to work. This guy is going to bring his lunch pail. He's going to go to work for the Raptors. He's going to be a problem in this league. He also said that he wants to be the greatest player. Greatest player. I don't know of all time. This guy wants to put the work in. So you got to respect it. You got to love it. I just hope. The thing that I'm always concerned with, now I'm not really that concerned with him because he's a big boy and he's physically just a big presence. But I don't like when guys try too much in their first couple of years in the NBA. Give yourself an opportunity, because I do not want to see Scotty Barnes get hurt, some sort of injury in the knee or anything like this, because this happens sometimes with guys who are that eager to get the work done. They're not healing the right way and they're playing, too much basketball, that kind of thing. So I hope Scotty stays nice and healthy for us.
So what I'll say about this is, who has the best medical staff in the NBA?
The Toronto Raptors.
We do. Who has the best player development system in the NBA?
Also the Toronto Raptors.
He's going to be fine.
He's going to be great here. I'm so excited for this kid.
6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan.
Monster.
This was the most athletic individual in this draft. Yes, Jalen Green can dunk and he's explosive and can't play defense. And his lateral movement is not that great. Scotty,
1 through 5,
can guard 1 through 5. Gets up and down the floor like a guard, can jump out of the gym. Range of motion is really good. His shot selection is really good because he doesn't take shots that he can't hit.
Yep.
His range is a little low, but he's going to get the work. He's going to put in the work to do that.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people say that this could be that Kawhi type guy. May not be Kawhi, but maybe close to Kawhi. So if you got a close to Kawhi in Scotty Barnes, a close to Kawhi in OG Anunoby, and then you got the free spirit that is Pascal Siakam. And then you've got, Malachi and Fred at the guard and off guard. And then you play your small ball. You drop in a center when you need one. I think that's a pretty dangerous team.
The reality is on this team, the future is bright because the future is youth.
Yeah.
We got young players that want a ball. We have the right people around them. You know what I also like about Scotty in this fit is I think the chemistry is going to be good with Scotty and some of the other players in the team, Siakam, OG, these young guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Jalen would have came in with this, kind of chip on his shoulder like we owed him something. There's a different vibe.
Yeah, the funny thing about him is I think he was very disappointed that he didn't go. And you could tell he was very disappointed that he did not come here. The one thing that he did is he just talked about how great this development system is and shone the light on the development system in Toronto. Everyone in the NBA already knows. You didn't have to say that. You should have just stayed quiet, didn't talk too much, didn't do all the news outlet stuff, just stayed quiet and waited. Scotty didn't say nothing. Actually, I think he took a picture of the gear he worked out in on his pro day and left it at that. There was nothing in the picture other than just the clothes, and that was it. And I also like the fact that he does not carry himself like that prototypical, stuffy professional. He showed up here, Cardinal, hung out with Cardinal right away, hung out with Drake right away.
He's at Drake's house.
He was at Drake's house with
at Drake's house with
Danilo.
The Rexdale pickup.
Danton.
Yeah, Danton. Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, he's already getting a deep dive tour into what this city is about. So, I think he's going to love it up here, and I'm happy that we ended up getting him because my eye's been on him since the March Madness. So.
I've seen some polling, and when it's kind of, you're asking the Raptors fans, I've seen some polls pop up. If now knowing Scotty a little bit, would you have picked him or Jalen? Kind of, which one would you still have picked at the fourth position? It seems like Scotty's number, the approval rating is over 60, 70, 80% now.
Perfect.
So the Raptors fans, although there was some moments there where a little bit of regret that we didn't pick up Jalen, it seems like he's been well embraced by the Raptor fan base. So we're excited to have Scotty in Toronto for sure, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops and how he kind of blends in with the team, because you got to love a good defensive player, as we talked about earlier in the cast earlier.
Certainly.
Nice. Okay, do you want to touch on anything else, Raptor related or otherwise?
No, I think that's it for now. I mean, obviously this is just 3-4 hours into, free agency being opened up. So kind of nuts. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming in the next few days. So we're probably going to have to jump on again shortly to talk about all the other things that have fallen into place.
It's going to be a very, very active season for the NBA. I mean, the NBA is the only league where you got 365 days of sports. It never stops. There's always a new story happening in the NBA. So it's going to be great to see what happens for the Raptors and for the rest of the league, because I love this competitive nature, and it was great to have LeBron-free playoffs, although that will definitely not be happening next year.
No.
All right, awesome. Well, look, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Easiest way to help grow our channel is to hit that like button, but we would love to have you as part of our channel. So please hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, because we were always live when we tape. So this was the Raptors Den. It's August 2nd. More to come. Stay tuned. We're going to jump back on in a little bit with a NBA trade breakdown, which is coming up next. So for everybody here at Offside and Out of Bounds, courtesy of the Raptors Den, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior.
See you real soon.